Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another week of Saturday Night Special. All right, I got some cool viewer gifts that I'm going to share with you today. We've got three barbecue and carving related viewer gifts that I'd like to share with you. Some really cool stuff that was made for me, and I want to share that stuff with you here. And then we get started on a new collaboration project on this episode, and I got a lot of stuff to share with you. So the machining that I got regarding the collaboration project, I'm going to split that into two episodes of Saturday Night Special so that I can share this other stuff with you too. So we'll start it this week and then we'll finish it next weekend because there was a lot going on in that project there. Also after this, we're going to finish out the back purge welding fixture for Jody over at Welding Tips and Tricks. We're going to have the final episode of that, all the little finishing touches that I put on it, and get it finally completed. And I'm real happy with how that job turned out, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you here on the channel. All right, last week we had a pretty good week doing some traveling. We went down to Central Florida to attend the Florida Flywheeler Show. Had a really good time there. Got a few extra videos along the way. We got two shop tours, which one has already been released with Lance Balsey, his shop down in High Springs. We've also got some videos coming out of the event. We're going to have two. One is going to be like the swap meet area and then the scores that we got. And then the second one is going to be video of just like the tractors, the engines, the hit and miss engines, and all the events going on around the Florida Flywheelers. So some extra content coming out there for you. Also got to do a little shop tour there at Jim Bollinger's shop, Do Right Fabrication. So we're going to be sharing that pretty soon as well. All right, so that's what we got for this episode. Let's go ahead and get to our viewer mail. So, you know, the handmade gifts are always seem to be the most special. And I want you to see this handmade knife that was made for me right here by Luke Willey. And he's been a longtime viewer of my channel. He's also over on Instagram under Willey Fab. And it's something he's been working on for quite a while now, several months. And this is a handmade knife that he made out of a Kearney & Foot file. You can still see the diamond pattern of the file in there, but he did a beautiful job making this knife. It is just absolutely razor sharp there, a nicely polished edge. The grinding on it just looks beautiful, and you know, this intricate detailed work here in the handle and the wood, these little guys right in there, and the lines that they put in there, and how he did all this is just wonderful work. You know, this is the kind of stuff that I've never been able to do. I've never dabbled in this type of work, so I find it very fascinating and interesting to see this type of intricate, detailed work put into handcrafted items such as this knife right here. So, Luke, thank you very much. This is a beautiful knife. Really appreciate you, you know, taking the time to make this for me and send it, and we're going to put this to use. We're going to put it to use very, very soon because I've got a set of ribs out there, or slab of ribs on the cooker that's getting ready to be pulled off, and we're going to slice into those ribs using your knife. We're going to go ahead and break it in right. So he actually calls this the A-bomb chopper. So it's a little thick there, but I think it's going to be a great carving knife for something like ribs. So we'll put it to use. Luke mentioned in his letter he had a really nice you know, handwritten letter there that he sent me along. He's got two small kids, and they watch the videos with him, and he likes to try to show his children the ways of metalwork and welding and fabrication and machining, and hope that it helps them later on in life, whether it be for a career or just knowledge in general of, you know, getting out there and getting your hands dirty and doing things with your hands. So Luke, that was very cool of you to mention that there in your letter. And his kids know me simply as A-bomb. They love watching the videos. So there we go. Thank you very much, Luke. Awesome knife right there. I've got his link there on screen for his Instagram because he does this with quite a few knives. He's always sharing the knives that he is making there. And just a stand-up job you did on this one, Luke. Thank you very much. All right, some more handmade stuff that I wanted to share. So my viewer, Eric Douglas, he's from Tennessee. He's I think he's what you'd call a professional barbecue. You know, he does the professional circuit type barbecuing. And this is some of the sauces that he makes and the rubs that he makes that he sent to me. I've already been putting this stuff to use. This is just some extras. Let's see, there's the hot right there. So I'm actually using this on some chicken and some ribs right now that's on the pit barrel. And he makes up this jerk seasoning right here, this jerk rub. He said it's just like Jamaican jerk without all the heat there. And it's got a really good smell. So I put that on some chicken that's already cooked. And then this is his all-purpose rub that you can use on just about anything, you know, pork, chicken, ribs, anything like that. So this is what I rubbed onto the slab of baby back ribs. And I've already used this stuff, and it's really good. And then he's got the different sauces that he uses. And the way that they actually use the sauce is that they cook the meat, and then after they cook the meat, they break it apart, chop it up, slice it, whatever, and then they season it and barbecue it. But he's got this, it's all vinegar-based seasoning here. He's got this one that's really good for ribs and chicken. He's just got a simple mild sauce, and then he's got a hot version of that as well. So I've been using this as a dipping sauce. I actually mixed it in my chicken a few times, and then I've been using it today on the ribs. I'm spritzing it on the ribs as they're cooking. So they're actually just about ready, and we're going to go out there and get them here in just a minute after I show you the next gift that we're going to use for these ribs there. But Eric, I know you enjoy watching the videos too, and you've been very kind to always send this barbecue related stuff to me. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. So here's our other really cool handmade gift, and this was given to me by my friends Dana and Patrick McAllister, and also Bill Ashcraft over at 5 Star Machine up in Arkansas. And this was a gift they actually sent to me back at Christmas time, and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you, and let's put it to use on the video today. So they had a friend of theirs use a laser machine and do some laser etching in there for the lettering, including my logo, and it looks really cool. Some nice intricate work there done on this cutting board. It's got the handles there. Dana made an extra modification there, adding this bronze bushing with the hole through it and these bolts. And the idea behind it, they got the meat cleaver that come along with it. They got the hole drilled in there, and so you can actually mount this cleaver to this bolt right here and set it up so that you can use it for chopping. All right, so that goes on there like that. Let's go ahead and get it set up. All right, so it's set up like that. I just got it kind of loose there right now. And you can lay you a slab of ribs on there and go ahead and chop them. That's pretty cool. Nice little design right there. So Dana, Patrick, and Bill, thank you very much. Very, very nice gift there. All right, but today, for today's video, I want to really put Luke's handmade knife, the A-bomb chopper, to use. So we're going to use this to slice up our ribs. All right, so let's go outside and pull them off the pit barrel, and we'll come in here and cut them up. All right, here's our slab of baby back ribs, and they are done. I've already checked the temp, and they're doing excellent. So let's take them up. All righty. All right, man, these things are smelling good and looking good, and it is high noon, so it's time for some lunch. So we got our new chopper. Let's see how these ribs are going to look. Let's see how this knife is going to do cutting into them. Look at that. Just like it's supposed to. All right, Luke, you're seeing it, man. First time using the knife. Look at them ribs, man. They look good. Awesome. Let's go ahead and give one a try. Let me find my paper towel here. I've also got my my sauce there from Eric. Put a little extra there on it. So let's taste test these things. A-bomb barbecue. Man, that's some good stuff. The pit barrel, the rub, the sauce. The ribs just turned out good. They're hot, meaty, and tender. So all you guys out there that are, sending me stuff like this, Luke with the really cool chopper there, Dana and Patrick with the cutting board, and then Eric with the sauces. thank you very much. This is some cool stuff right here. You know, being able to do this barbecue during the day and use these tools that people are making for me is just a really cool feeling. So I'm gonna go enjoy my lunch, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. All right guys, we're getting ready to start another little job here. This is going to be a collaboration project that I'm doing with Justin over at the Fabrication series on YouTube. Be sure to check Justin out. Great guy, good guy to know. He puts out some fun content out there, a lot of welding and fab, but he's been working on some suspension components. He's got a whole series there that he's been doing on building these, you know, fabricating them, and then he had one component that he asked for a little help on and asked if I would help out. So I obliged and told him that I would be sure to fix him up. So what he needs is a pin made, and this is more of like a threaded pin. So we have a pin here that's got some threads on both sides. We got a taper, and there's a hex there in the center that you use to be able to hold it and tighten the nuts up there. All right, a lot of pretty simple dimensions to go off of there. And the recent auction scores, the recent auction I had purchased some thread gauges, and we're able to use my go no-go gauges for this job right there, because we do have a 9/16 18 thread and also a 3/4 16. So in that lot of goodies there, I've got some 3/4 16 go and no-go gauges that we can use. And on the 9/16 18 side, I actually don't have one of these type of gauges here, but I do have one of these gauges, and it gives you what the pitch diameter is supposed to be for your go and no-go size. So I can use this for the dimensions that's on there and use this Starrett thread pitch micrometer whenever we're doing our threading. Use this to land on our proper pitch diameter when we're threading it. So we're going to use those new tools. I think we'll go to the Victor lathe and use the 6-jaw chuck because it works really good for that. I did order a piece of 4140. This is the heat treated 4140, and picked this up from McMaster Car. All right, so let's go get started. We'll start off by facing the ends of the shaft there to get it to the proper length. We'll just face one side, and then we'll flip it around and face the other side and use my calipers to measure it. See, we got the one end face there, just using the calipers. The finished length on the print is 5" 8/25, so we got approximately 100 thousandths still to come off of it. So we'll just finish it out like that. Alright, we've got the thing faced to our proper length there now, so I'm going to start with the long end. We're going to turn the 3/4 thread side plus the hex, so I'm going to need approximately 4 1/4 inches. That'll give me a little bit of run out room here near the jaws. So we'll start right there. This is one of my new tools that I acquired at the recent auction there. It's a Royal spindle type long nose live center, and it's the first one I've ever had. Always wanted one. I finally got one, and you can see the benefits that it has. You can get in here with your tools, especially on these type of turning tools here. You still got room back in this area, the center, to get down to a smaller diameter without hitting the end. I'm going to use my hook rule. Set a stop for our shoulder length there. I'm going to set it just a little shy of what I want it, and then I'll use the calipers to measure that accurately and then face it out where it needs to be. witness mark there. I get a lot of people that like for me to explain my feeds and speeds whenever I'm showing work. So this particular cut here, so we're running at 700 RPM. I've got it set at about a 10,000 feed rate. Our total metal removal per pass is going to be 1/8 of an inch. So I just dial it in 125. That's actually a 16th per side. So this is 230 feet per minute is what we're cutting. I'm using my favorite carbide insert. That's a CNMG 431. That's a ISCAR IC 8150, I believe is what it is. I might have to check that again. I made 2 passes and I can get in there and measure my shoulder good, so we're going to do that now. You got to make sure you file this in there because it rolls an edge over when you start making a cut. Let's call that 660. So I've got 15 thousandths to, it's 3.675 is what this distance is. It should put me about 7/8, so about 1/8 of an inch to remove from it still. Yep, I'm at 875. That's our finished cut, bringing us down to 750. Clean that shoulder up 5 thousandths, and that'll put us right on our shoulder length size. This next area right here is going to be where the 1-inch hex is going to be machined. So I bought 1 1/4 so that I'd have enough to machine it down. I'm going to go ahead and turn that down. I was going to show you in the engineer's black book, there's a real helpful section there, distance across the corners for both squares and hex. And the AF, which is going to be the flats, I'm sorry, your H dimension. H dimension is what I'm looking for. 1 inch will be the distance across the flats. It's telling me 1.1547. So if I turn it close to that, that'll put us where we need on our diameter for our 1-inch hex. This isn't a critical dimension here. Looks like about 45 thousandths is all I need. I'm going to use a 1/8 wide parting blade that's ground with a radius on the end to cut a thread relief there, and it is 1/2 inch from the shoulder. And just scale it out right there. The thread relief there is just your double depth of your pitch, so we're cutting a 16, so you can use your little fishtail right here, and the double depth for 16 is going to be 81 thousandths. I want to point out that this diameter here, this is where our threads will be. I did go ahead and skin another 4 thousandths off of that to bring that 5 thousandths under your nominal size there. So I'm just going to chamfer the end. I think I want to come up here and break these edges as well. How about we get that 16 pitch cut in? So once we touch off, I'll be using a compound end feed. We're going to be taking somewhere in the neighborhood of 46 thousandths the depth. And so here's one way that you can figure that right there. Already got it. So take 0.750 divided by your pitch. So divided by, we're cutting a 16. Alright, so that figure right there will give you approximate end feed that you need on your compound once you touch off. But it's always advisable to sneak up on that. Don't just take 46 thousandths or whatever you come up with and expect it to be right. So, but that'll get you in the ballpark right there. Let's make a scratch pass and see if we're set up on our pitch properly. So that looks good. Always verify it, and we are there. So let's go ahead and I'm going to dial in 20 thousandths total for the first cut there. Last cut was 10. This is going to be a 5. We'll just kind of sneak up on it. Just going off of this go gauge right here, being 0.709, and going to measure it with the thread pitch mic, and it looks like I'm right there at it. Wow, that's measuring 710 right there. Let me see if our go gauges will work. By the way, I lightly filed the top of it and then blew it off with the air to get rid of any of the burrs before I check it. That's our go, and it's getting tight there. Alright, our no-go is definitely getting tight. Give the threads a little polish there. Alright, so let's go ahead and start on our other end. We should be able to chuck this right here on this shoulder because this area here is about 5 thousandths smaller than that. So let's put it in there and see. And I had the chuck dialed in to, whenever I tested it earlier, it was 4/10. But let's see if we're going to get some kind of repeatability after removing it and then chucking it again. Just giving equal tension on all the pinion gears for the scroll, as it seems to make a big difference. Just over a 1/2,000, so I'd call that maybe 6 or 7/10 run out, so not bad. Not bad at all. We got the chuck plenty tight, so we're there. We're going to start with our 9/16 in here. Go ahead and get it turned down. Finishing cut here for our 9/16 size. We'll clean up this face. Now our next journal is going to be turned down to 820. That's going to be where the tapers machine. We'll just get it down to the largest diameter. I got a 0 set here on my indicator already. It's 1 inch back. Right there. Final pass here. Go ahead and machine a thread relief there in that corner. All right, that's going to be an 18 pitch. Looking at my gauge here at 72 thousandths. Break the corners, put a chamfer there for the thread. And that one, I don't know if I can get that. Yeah, we can. Just did make it. Just figure what our compound infeed will be. So 0.75 divided by 18. That's going to be 41 thousandths, about 41. Take us to test cut. All right, there's the 18. All right, that looks good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use the pitch mic, and going off of the go no-go gauge on the depth that we should be at. This one's a real tough one to kind of get a good feel for. It looks like I'm getting real close though. I'm right at it. We got about 2 thousandths according to the mic. So that's going to be a little tricky. This lathe is always a little, I call it kind of spongy. So even though you might go back to your 0, it still tries to cut a little more than it should. I'm going to back off. It's still cutting more than it wanted it to. Alright, that one put me 1 thousandths under the go gauge right there. I had to finish it out. So I finished it at 525 and the pitch says 526.5. So I think that's gonna be okay though.